Hey. This is Individual Perspective Podcast. I'm your host, Daris D. McKinney, and we're back for a quick conversation. Okay, quick conversation. My name is Daris D. McKinney, like I said, and I want you guys to hit that like, share, subscribe, and notification bell. I got to get my numbers up. I know it's looking pathetic, but come on. I'm doing the work. I just ain't got time to hound you guys. But if you can, hit that like, share, subscribe, notification bell. I gotta get my numbers up, y'all. So help me out here, okay? If you could contribute so I can be on here more and doing this stuff, then you could use the Venmo or the PayPal, whatever you guys choose and stuff like that, okay? Just like, share, and subscribe, please, okay? Now, you see what the title is, right? Success is in the Foxhole, you know? And we can have fun all we want. We can have conversations about this and stuff. And, you know, it's just like a phrasing or a metaphor and all that good stuff. But the problem with society is that people are in a foxhole with people and they don't know what it means to be in the foxhole. Success is in the foxhole. If you can bind together and join forces together while you in that foxhole, because most people in the foxholes was a lot of people. They in there with strangers. They in there with like loved ones. They in there with partners. They in there with their spouse. They're in their relationships. And most people who in the foxhole, they don't know how they should conduct themselves when they're in the foxhole with each other. What I say each other, that's a Midwest type of thing, but it's each other. I know, but I say each other, okay? And this means, the sad part about this is it means people don't really understand like how to conduct themselves in the foxhole. You ain't supposed to be a treacherous person in a foxhole. Well, the person you're in the foxhole with, y'all in the same stuff, same bad predicament, and you need to win together. You need to join forces and get together. I always say, when you're in the foxhole, everything is up. So whatever's up is up. And whatever's going to happen, you take it on. You know what I mean? A lot of people say oh my God, I wouldn't take that from my husband. I wouldn't take that from my wife. I wouldn't take that from my girlfriend. I wouldn't take that from my man. I wouldn't, you know what I mean? You take anything from your partner if it's up. You get what I'm saying? If it's up. And I'm not saying I don't believe that women should be kind of crossing the lines. It don't mean nothing for them to jump ship, like monkey branch. You know what I mean? It means nothing to them because it's an easy thing for them. And just by being a woman, you have the high likelihood to jump ship, to jump and go into another relationship and all that stuff. So it's not special if you do it. It's more impactful and purposeful and you have high integrity and high honor and high ethics if you don't monkey branch. You get what I'm saying? You know, the society that we have is this the funny part about a lot of the people that's doing level up culture, because they're Christians, but their rhetoric is the most degenerate and materialistic and shallow communication. You know, so their thought process is, hey, if your man ain't a six figure, jump ship. If you have the opportunity to jump ship, jump ship. You get what I'm saying? That's the advice. You know? And people, then they label themselves Christians at that. And it's like, a man and a woman, they fight this world together. They never fight each other, they fight the world. They never fight each other, they fight the world. I'm going to say each other. I'm going to stop trying to correct myself because I'm messing up my dialogue. They fight the world. That's their job, to fight everything outside their union or their partnership. You know what I'm saying? Never compromise the partnership, ever. Compromise everybody except the partnership. Now, I learned that maybe a little bit, took forever for me to learn that, because I'm more of a person that's kind of like, I look at like Steven Spielberg or Spike Lee or Denzel Washington or LeBron James and stuff. They got a net people that they kind of go through the business or the growth process with, and those are people that they kind of hold tight to. They hold tight to, like, hey, there's 10 of us. We got to try to pull each other into a multi-million-dollar situation. You get what I'm saying? Everybody else can be new. They could be for the moment, or it's just we only got this team for this project. We only got this team for this project. But your core team needs to be people that you can actually grow a unit with and trust with. You get what I'm saying? But society says, and the level up culture says, that you just completely chop everybody head off if it gives you success. You get what I'm saying? And I believe success is in the foxhole. Success is in the foxhole. You get what I'm saying? So subscribe, like, share, hit that notification bell, y'all. Keep saying this over and over because I guess I'll be going into my rhetoric and I'll be going to my conversations or my theories and all that stuff like that, and I don't say it enough. You get what I'm saying? But success is in the foxhole. So it's really, when you're in the foxhole, you're supposed to be shameless. That's how crazy the foxhole is. You're supposed to be shameless. You're not supposed to have like standards and it's wild stuff. When you're in the foxhole, you're in the foxhole. Now, of course, you don't get in the foxhole, or if you don't find yourself in a foxhole with people you don't trust, or a person that you don't want to give your life for. You know what I mean? Because when you're in a foxhole, it's about making sure that you got that person 6 and you taking care of that 6. You get what I'm saying? And that person is taking care of your 6. So it doesn't even matter what is going on to your right or behind you, because you got confidence. That person, they getting it. They getting it. They giving it all. So whatever happened, it happens. I could trust that person on my 6. That's what the foxhole is. It's not timid. It's not respectful. It's not, you respect the people you're in a foxhole with, but in the exterior of it, everything goes. That's why when in Vietnam and all that stuff, you hear about like a lot of the Vietnam soldiers kind of taking a lot of the enemy's ears and wearing it as ear necklace and stuff like that. That's the foxhole. You don't judge me in the foxhole. If I want to wear ear necklace, I'm wearing ear necklace. And you look at it like it's gold, like it's diamond chains. That's how you're supposed to be in a foxhole. Now, if we jump, after we get through surviving the war and we're walking onto the military plane and we like, hey, man, you really can't be taking that back home to America. People won't understand that. Let's kind of come back to some kind of civilian, civilized mindset. You get what I'm saying? I get that. The foxhole? When you in the foxhole, it's all up. Anything goes for the survival of the people in that foxhole with you. The person you in the foxhole with. So I say that because credibility is to the standards that you set out. You get what I'm saying? Like a lot of people say, like, will you cheat on somebody, or will you like do something that's not warranted to an opposition, your wife, your husband, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your partnership. I believe in being completely blunt about the foxhole. I always say have the worst date on the first date. So I'm going to tell you up front, everything was up. Fight for me, and be it completely for me, and I'm completely for you. You get what I'm saying? I'm 100. But life has this place where that's the plan. That's your plan. I always say that there's always one person that's in relationships and deals and business and stuff that you'll find that is one person that's kind of coasting it. This kind of everything is good. Everything is it's like what they perceive it should be like and all that stuff. And then there's one person taking it for granted. Like, what's up with this, man? I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm seeing this, I'm being here, I'm being present here, and look what you just got to do. Look what you just tried to do. You get what I'm saying? And you kind of look at it like that, and you like, okay, I've learned that people will use you for, like, they will treat you to your weakness. Whatever your weakness, your weak part of you, that's how they perceive you. That's their, like, that's the impulse, the subconscious way to treat you. Not conscious. Conscious, they will kind of try to keep secrets. They try to navigate through it. But subconsciously, if they think you're weak, they'll try some stuff on you. And if you catch it, if you keep it to yourself, then it might keep happening. But if you say something about it, then they know, okay. But you have to say, wow, that was that character. They had that character in them. They had that way of looking at me that they perceive that was kind of a cool, or they could have had their cake and eat it too, or they could have played me like that until they didn't want to do it no more. And when you see that, for me, I did this. I think I've done this from 19 years old. Probably wasn't. Oh no. Oh, was I probably 18? 18 probably. I think I was 18 years old when this happened. When I kind of got it. Oh, I got relationships, the human dynamics, and all that. So I kind of got it. You know what I mean? I'm saying, fast forward to now, if I know what was like the chain reaction, it was that moment. And when I got it, I was kind of like all kind of very passive and gentle about it, or how can I say, I was kind of emotional and like very feeling about it. You know what I mean? And then the person laughed while I was expressing myself to how I felt betrayed. And when they laughed, it was like a light switch for me. I remember it. I remember it like it was today. Like I would, like, people say you wouldn't know what you would do if something happened to you. Like, I didn't know that at that time and how I would even respond to what really happened. And don't bullshit, don't lie, don't try to make yourself sound cool. What happened? And I noticed at that time, it was like a light switch. I'm telling y'all, I was emotional. I was like very sensitive. I was like very like heartwarm, lovey-dovey, and just kind of just how a soft person would be. And as soon as she laughed, and it was not, she caught herself, but she laughed. But as soon as she did it, the second after it, I'm not lying to you, it was like, okay, well, we up now. I remember it. And I remember as soon as she did that, I said, okay. I got up, I left, and I went to work. I swear to God, I remember that. The second after I looked at her, and I got up, I went to work. And it was over. It was over. From that point, it was over. I think she spent 2 years trying to connect back with me in all different type of ways. You get what I'm saying? And I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. And I'm telling you, if I look at every type of interactions and different things that I went through my whole life up to now, I think I think that psychological thing is in me, but it's subconscious now. It's on reflex. I'll do it in reflex. You get what I'm saying? And I'll know that, okay, epiphany, awakening. And it happened because I can read people now. I can kind of know what's up now. I don't care if somebody try to keep a secret with me. I kind of know what's up. I may not talk about it, but I kind of know what's up. You know what I mean? But so what I did was, as I got older, I start to communicate when I first meet people and I start interacting with people what the standard is, what's the foxhole is. And so I would say, hey, y'all, if we do this, we like this. We got to be like this. We got to be aggressive like this. We got to have our mindset like this. We got to have our faith like this. We got to have our principles like this. We got to have our focus like this. And after I get through saying that, and I'll say it a couple times because sometimes people, I always say year after year, you always need to remind people of the mindset. That's just how people are. Most people are not like great visionary people or leaders or like directional people. Sometimes people are like slugs. You know what I mean? They wherever the vibe is, wherever the action is. You know what I mean? So they jump ship, they monkey branch. I'm not talking about women. I'm talking about men, women, business, relationships, like friendships, all that stuff. They just jump monkey branch and stuff. It's just whatever's up. Whatever's the hot stuff, whatever the great moment is, whatever the great energy is, the vibe, whatever that is, that's what's up, you know? So I said, man, so I will always tell people about the foxholes. No matter if it's in a relationship or a partnership or business or anything, I will tell people, hey, this is what it is. This is what it is. This is my standard. This is what I want. This is how it's going to be. And I'll be very verbal. I'll be verbal about sex. I'll be verbal about everything up front. Like, hey, oh, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm a person, if I got to keep telling you something, then I'm forcing you to do something. And I don't do that. The great outcome, the great results is for somebody that wants the results. If you're threatening, if you peer pressuring, if you manipulating, if you like doing that kind of stuff to get somebody to give you the results, then that should tell you don't be in the foxhole with that person. And I found this to be true. It's not that I'm like never been in the foxhole with somebody I thought I shouldn't be in the foxhole with. No, I would say, nope, I'm so wild with my principle and my integrity and my honor and my ethics and my mindset. I'll go in the foxhole with a traitor, with a person that's actually not even a traitor, but they just they like a self-deletion person, where they would really mess up their own benefit, like their own end results. You get what I'm saying? I would go in there with them and I would say, hey, see what you did? But all the things I've done around what they did was protect me from that. I kind of always perceive, just in case this person act like this, just in case they do this, just in case they move like this, just in case they interact like that or they respond like this, I need to have these things in place. I need to have this in place. I need to have this situation. I need to have my mindset like this. So just in case you do something different or crazy, or you trying to show me up, or you trying to handle me, or you trying to manipulate me, or you trying to backstab me, or you trying to just like demoralize me or devalue me, I have a response for that, but it's already in place. So whenever you do it, all it is say, well, I'm glad I did that. Glad I did that. I'm glad I took that precaution. I'm glad I interacted like that. I'm glad I did something for myself in this moment for like that. Why? Because people, when they're in the foxhole, they don't understand when they're in the foxhole. And when you're in the foxhole, you'll find this out if you ever go talk to all the people that's successful in the 70 to 80 percentile. they'll all have this in common. When you're in the foxhole, it's nothing more important than what to do in that foxhole. Nothing more important. Not your self-dignity, not your pride, not your perspective, your ego, what you think should preserve you. No, it's what needs to happen in that foxhole to get out that foxhole. You get what I'm saying? So that's how you deal with in the foxhole. And if you do that, you get all the outcome you want. Why? Because you're in the mindset that you need to be in when you're in a foxhole. So if you evaluate how you need your mindset and how everybody's mindset needs to be if you get in a foxhole with each other, you'll find out that's how you get out of the foxhole. It's understanding we're in the foxhole. But most people, they're like, oh my God, my shoes getting dirty. Oh, my clothes getting dirty. And you need to get wild. You need to get wild with the worms, wild with the grunt, wild with wasting on yourself. You get wild with the foxhole. You got to be crazier than the foxhole to get out the foxhole. And guess what? If you got everybody or other people or your spouse or your partner or everybody that's in the foxhole with you in that mindset, shit, you could take over the world. You could take over the world. That's what I'm doing about this. That's why I wanted to come in here, had this quick little conversation to you guys about the foxhole, because it just told me, like, a lot of people analyze, oh my God, man, that girl is crazy for that guy. No, she's in the foxhole with him. You get what I'm saying? May we all be so lucky. You get what I'm saying? Oh man, you can't separate those brothers. You can't separate those business partners. No matter what, man, they've been doing so much stuff for decades with each other. Because they in the foxhole and they in that mindset. They understand it's nothing more important than what needs to be done when you're in the foxhole. But people let their own self-preservation, their own ideological point of view take over. And they start to backstab each other or do things that they not even intended to be in opposition of the person in the foxhole with, but the life of it, the mindset of it, the ideological structure of it, it makes you go against what's been done. You get what I'm saying? So you got two people doing two separate things. That takes more energy, more time, more problem solving, more execution to execute on something for a specific outcome of value for everyone. If you got two of it. So that's why I say one of the worst things you could be is people that are kind of in the foxhole together, but they got two driven point of views or like perspectives of how to get out the foxhole. You're in trouble. When you're in the foxhole, everything is up and nothing's more important than getting out the foxhole or what needs to happen in the foxhole. But you need to be instinctively understanding you're better for us to get out this foxhole. You get what I'm saying? I'm following your lead. You get what I'm saying? You don't argue, you don't debate, you don't try to process it on say, okay, what are you gonna do with your life? Okay, that makes sense to me. So okay, I'll submit to that. Don't work that way. Don't work that way. If I'm doing whatever I'm doing, is what I'm doing. You get what I'm saying? And you just in a foxhole and you do whatever it takes to accomplish it. Why? Because I had the idea to do something. So if you start to think of what you wanted to do after I do something, that means no, you're trying to be in opposition to what I'm doing for your point of view, your ideological point of view, how you feel, your psychological, your trauma, your past, whatever your perception is, how your parents raised you or whatever business interactions you had or whatever like situation, and that may work for you, but it ain't gonna work for us in this foxhole because somebody got to do something before you get to the place that you're at, that you won't do that, but you'll do this. But that only happened, your this only happened because that happened. So that's why you go do that Why? Because something is being done when nothing was being done. That's how that works when you're in a foxhole. Business, relationships, partnering, family, everything. Understand that the foxhole, you don't debate how to act in a foxhole. You just do. And if your mindset ain't like that, pray that you're not in a foxhole with somebody that needs you to be like that when you get in the foxhole. Because guess what? Everybody needs you to be like that when you're in the foxhole. There's no debating in the foxhole. Like, but I use a reference when people like in war, you know, and you like you're coming off the ship and you gotta take the higher ground and you're going at it, and then the person sees a person's head get blown off or something, and they stop and they freak out at what they just seen. You're open. You're wiped out now. So now both of y'all gone. And the way to be in the foxhole is whatever crazy stuff you see me do in the foxholes is what I gotta do in the foxhole. The moment in the foxhole calls for this. Yes, it's insane. Yes, it's crazy. Yes, it's very wow in extremity, but that's the way you gotta be in the foxhole, or I feel I gotta be in the foxhole, so that's what I'm doing. I don't need you to debate it with me. Vice versa. If I'm in a foxhole with you and I see you doing something and I see you responding to the foxhole in a certain way, I add to that. I help you execute on what you're doing. That's how you do it. Success is in the foxhole, y'all. And what that means is the worst situation, the most demanding things you need to do in your life is the foxhole. And the ability of a human being is to execute the foxhole. So we already have the ability to execute. It's been with us since 2,000 to 3,000 years. It's innately in us. I always tell women, you got to understand, I don't care how you look at your man or how you look at a lot of other men that you don't want to deal with, or you've been with, or you kind of thrown to the side and all that stuff. Men are born with the Alexander syndrome, meaning that they have the ability to conquer vast amount of success. I don't care who it is. If he's a man, he has it. He has an innately in him. What stops him from utilizing it is when he cares too much about the social dynamics of his circle or his environment, and he's not really being himself and executing on his ability because he's so how can I say, analyzing how people perceive him, how people would deal with his mindset. And while you're digging about that, you're failing. So the best advice I can give to the average woman is, whatever success you think you had or you have twice as much as that, not going against the guy. But also, people in business, you need to also understand, whoever has the vision, no matter how you think, how you perceive it, I always say do the sporadic method. If you think somebody got a bad plan or they got a bad idea or something, then you say, hey, man, I don't think we should do that. And then he'll respond to however he's going to respond. Whoever can respond in the most logical communication and full of vetting and processing and laying out the facts, that's the way you should go in the direction. If that person can't upkeep or withstand scrutiny, then you absolutely have to have a better thinking person. But if that person can, they have a vision, they have a direction. You may not like it, but they have a direction. And every time they respond to a question or analyzation of what they're doing, they actually have an answer, and it's concrete, and it works, and it's logical, and it's path. It's an actual path. That means while you guys were debating it, you could have got it executed on. Foxhole means the foxhole, y'all. Everything. You do not backstab in the foxhole. You do not analyze in the foxhole. You execute. That's what the foxhole is. That's why success is in the foxhole. Because once you come out of the foxhole, you pretty much know what's up. And most foxholes are the foxhole you need to be in for whatever path you've been in or interaction that you're occurring or situation you're going through or whatever. So success is in the foxhole. Whatever your situation that puts you in the foxhole, that's the foxhole in your path, in your environment, and whatever is going on in your life. So you know how to get out that foxhole. But you absolutely don't need to be debating. You don't need to be arguing. You don't need to be working out or explaining or analyzing or going through Congress to say, hey, you should follow me because of this. No, we in the foxhole. We ain't got time to talk to each other. We got to walk. We got to execute. You get what I'm saying? Whatever I'm doing, you wasn't doing nothing. I'm doing this. And when you see me do that, don't analyze why I'm doing it. You do what I'm doing. You get what I'm saying? That's how it is in the foxhole. Look, success is in the foxhole. Thank you. This was just a little moment. I didn't mean to take too long. It's 33 minutes. I apologize for that. Success is in the foxhole, y'all. And I just wanted to kind of get that mindset out because it was something that and I'm going to do some more detailed episodes on it. But it was something I was thinking of and I said, man, this is ridiculous how people think about people that are they're in partnership and business with, or they're in marriages and relationships and stuff like that. And they think like, there's a standard of like how you should have your partners or your people back. No, it ain't. You had a back. You get what I'm saying? Otherwise, stand alone, be alone. And that's what our society is. We got a lot of people thinking the best thing to do with each other is not to even have any collaboration with people. Everything about life is a yin and a yang. A yin and a yang meaning it has two. Male and female. It's wrong or right, black or white. It's like everything about life and human understanding is dual. I don't know. I'm just telling you it is what it is. God couldn't even entertain. He couldn't even live without creating Lucifer and having an opposition to himself. It's dual, okay? Look, don't get me started. I could go for hours on this stuff. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. This is Individual Perspective Podcast. I am your host, Daris D. McKinney, and I'll see you on the next one. Yeah, I will.